June 25, 2009. A quiet mansion in Los Angeles. Behind its locked gates, the king of pop lies motionless in bed. Paramedics rush in, but it's too late. Michael Jackson, the most famous man on earth, is gone. But what really happened that night? Was it a tragic accident? Or something far more sinister? Tonight, we dive deep into the mystery behind the death that shook the world. Michael Jackson wasn't just a performer. He was the face of an era. From the moonwalk to sold-out stadiums, he stood above the rest. But on the morning of June 25, 2009, the world awoke to silence. Michael Jackson had died. 50 years old. Gone. Just like that. The official story? A sudden cardiac arrest brought on by prescription drugs. But that explanation didn't sit right with everyone. There were too many questions, too many contradictions, and too much money at stake to understand what really happened. We have to go back to the night before everything unraveled. June 24th. The Staples Center in Los Angeles was buzzing. Michael was there rehearsing, moving, singing, getting ready for his comeback tour. This is it. 50 shows in London. A return to glory. A redemption arc. He looked good. Tired, maybe, but determined. He danced. He smiled. He hugged his team and told them, "We're gonna change the world." But when he returned home that night, something shifted. He couldn't sleep. He hadn't been able to for a long time. Years even. And on that night, like so many before it, he turned to his doctor, Dr. Conrad Murray, handpicked, paid $150,000 a month. But not by Michael. By AEG Live, the concert promoter. That night, Murray gave Michael a series of sedatives. Valium, lorazepam, midazolam. But none of them worked. Michael remained wide awake. By 10:40 in the morning, Murray made a decision that would change everything. He administered 25 milligrams of propofol. A hospital anesthetic. Not a sleep aid. Not even close. No heart monitor. No oxygen tank. No nurse on standby. And then, according to Murray's own testimony, he stepped out of the room. When he returned, Michael wasn't breathing. Instead of calling 911, he called Michael's bodyguard, security, staff. It would take nearly 20 minutes before someone dialed emergency services. By then it was too late. Michael Jackson was unresponsive. Paramedics worked for nearly an hour, but nothing brought him back. At 2:26 p.m., the king of pop was pronounced dead at UCLA Medical Center. The world stopped turning, but the questions had only begun. The investigation began almost immediately. The world demanded answers. So did the fans. So did the family. How could Michael Jackson, one of the most protected celebrities on earth, die in his own home from a drug used in surgery? All eyes turned to one man, Dr. Conrad Murray, the physician who had been by Michael's side in his final months, the man who administered the fatal dose of propofol, and the man who didn't call 911 until it was far too late. In 2011, after 2 years of headlines, rumors, and endless speculation, Dr. Murray stood trial for involuntary manslaughter. The prosecution painted a clear picture. Murray had acted recklessly. He gave a dangerous drug in an unmonitored setting. And when things went wrong, he delayed calling for help out of fear for his own reputation. The jury agreed. Murray was found guilty. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison. He served just 2. But even with the verdict, the story didn't end. In fact, it only grew more complicated. Many believed that Murray wasn't the real villain, that he was just the final piece in a much larger, darker puzzle. Because Michael Jackson wasn't just a musician. He was a business. A billion-dollar brand. And in the years before his death, his finances were in trouble. Massive debt. Lawsuits. Mounting pressure to perform. The This Is It tour wasn't just a comeback. It was a lifeline. If the tour failed, Michael could lose everything. And AEG Live, the company funding the concerts, stood to lose millions. So they hired Murray, a doctor willing to do whatever it took to keep Michael going. But when Michael died, something strange happened. Instead of collapsing, his estate exploded in value. Sales of his music skyrocketed. New deals were signed. Merchandise, films, posthumous albums. In the first year alone, Michael Jackson's estate made over $275 million. And perhaps the most important asset of all? His share in the Sony/ATV music catalog, a massive collection of publishing rights, including songs by the Beatles, Elvis Presley, and Taylor Swift. That catalog was worth hundreds of millions. And Michael had fought for years to keep control of it. But after his death, control quietly shifted. Sony eventually bought back full ownership. Was that just good business? Or something more? Michael had long suspected he was being watched, manipulated, controlled. In one speech he said, "The history books are lies. The media is manipulation. They want to control what you see, what you think. And they don't care about the truth." He often spoke about powerful forces in the music industry. He called out record labels, accused executives of racism and exploitation. He believed there were people who didn't want him to succeed independently. So when he died, under mysterious circumstances, just weeks before massive financial comeback, some couldn't help but ask, was this really just about sleep? Or was Michael Jackson silenced before he could rise again? As the world searched for answers, those closest to Michael remembered something chilling. In the final weeks before his death, he didn't seem like himself. He was thinner, more withdrawn, sometimes paranoid, and sometimes heartbreakingly honest. He told people he didn't feel safe. He said there were people watching him, controlling him, waiting for him to break. One dancer from the This Is It tour recalled, "He would shake. He looked confused. He said things like, 'They're trying to kill me.'" And that wasn't the first time he had said it. In multiple interviews, Michael hinted at threats. He said people wanted his catalog, that he was being used, that the people around him didn't really care about his well-being. Even his children in later years would suggest that something wasn't right. His daughter Paris once said, "Everyone in the family knows. It was not just an overdose. And yet, no one has ever been held responsible beyond one man." Dr. Conrad Murray. Was Michael simply pushed too hard? Overmedicated? Or was there more to the story? There's another mystery, one that continues to haunt fans. The surveillance footage from Michael's house. The cameras in the hallway. The bedroom. The entrance. The final 24 hours of his life should have been fully documented. But somehow, the tapes were gone. Security said they had technical problems. Files were missing. No explanation was ever made public. How does that happen? In the home of one of the most famous people on the planet? It's questions like these that keep the conspiracy theories alive. And while many of them may be exaggerated or even false, they reflect a deeper truth. Michael Jackson died surrounded by mystery. And that mystery has never gone away. In the years since his passing, his legacy has only grown. New generations discover his music, his videos, his message. But at the same time, his life remains a cautionary tale. Of fame, of pressure, of control, of what happens when a person becomes bigger than the system that created them. Michael Jackson wanted to be more than a pop star. He wanted to be free. Free from contracts. Free from expectation. Free to create without fear. But in the end, he may have paid the price for that dream. So we are left with this. Was it an overdose? Or was it a message? Was he a victim of poor decisions? Or a target of powerful interests? Was it simply a tragedy? Or a carefully managed ending? We may never know the full truth. And maybe that's the point. Maybe some stories are meant to stay unfinished, unanswered, unresolved. But if we've learned anything from Michael Jackson, it's that truth always finds a way to rise. Just like a beat. Just like a song. Just like a legend. Thank you for watching. If this story made you feel something, Don't forget to subscribe for more true crime and celebrity mysteries. We publish new deep dives every week. And now, we want to hear from you. What do you think happened to Michael Jackson? Was it really just a tragic accident? Or was it something more? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and stay awake. Because sometimes, the truth is hiding in plain sight.